Hey, Cody.
Hey Guru, how's it going?
You? Good, man. Good.
Very good. Appreciate you jumping on. Good to meet you.
That's all right.
Paul, how's it going?
Good, thanks, Cody. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very good. Thanks. Appreciate you all jumping on.
All right, thanks for your time, mate.
Yeah, no worries at all. No worries. So, Guru, just so I understand, what's your position in the company?
I'm the GM National Operations.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So, look, this call is going to be super, super casual, right? Just finding out a bit more about you guys, where you sort of at, what your goals are, and really just seeing, if it's going to be a good fit. Already spoke to Paul briefly about what we do and sort of how we do it. I'm sure he shared the presentation that I sent over
Yes,
as
yes,
well, which
it
is
is.
awesome. So we can go through that. We'll go through costings and everything like that. And I'd love to know more about your numbers too. Like I know you guys are like all in solar. Like, have you done any, like, are you doing any sort of installs at the moment? And what are those sort of numbers?
See, we haven't, to be honest, we haven't really been.
Niche.
Okay.
We did a while ago in Perth. That was way back in 2015 and 2016.
Yep.
We introduced a product called,
Okay.
and we did that for a while. And after that, we got too much busy with solar. So
Mm,
we were focusing only on solar. Now that there's a lot of grants going on in Victoria, we thought, hey, maybe we should, we have an in-house team and everything. Why not try that?
yeah.
And but eventually we want to pass it to the in-house team, but we want to do supply and install in the beginning.
For
So
sure.
we thought, okay, let's try the sales team to get some sales. That's the whole idea of we're trying to capitalize on the
Yeah.
grants and stuff. That's all.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Totally understand. And I guess where are you at, like on the solar front? Like how many installs are you doing a month at the moment?
We do nationally roughly about 45 to 50 installs a
Yep.
week.
Okay.
So across the nation. So Victor, it keeps going up and down. Sometimes even we hit 60, sometimes 50. But yeah, so average, that's the number we do. We quite, on that higher range of in the market as well. Same with the installs as well. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So you've got the infrastructure to be able to handle, 10, 15 sort of installs
Niche.
a week.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Shouldn't be a problem. Yes.
Sweet. Okay, awesome. Paul, you mentioned you're looking to maybe start with 5 installs a week, but like what would be your sort of ultimate goal over the next 12 months? Like where would you like to get to?
Yeah, well, I know having some discussions in relation to installation capacity.
Hmm.
We've got the capacity for probably 20 installs a week. That's
Yeah.
sort of based off our planning right now. My hope would be is we'll probably even get bigger than that. Depends on how well this goes.
Yeah.
But I'm also conscious that, because, especially for Victoria, this is the first time we're having a bit of a crack at it. It's more of a case that we'll probably only allocate one, maybe two salespeople to this for a start. Go
Yep.
through and get our sales processes right, making sure that we've got all the back end information, all that
100%.
correct. And then once we're getting comfortable with it, then we just start ramping up the process for the next 3, 6, 12 months time.
Yep. Yeah, that's how I like to work too. So let's just dive right in. I'll kind of share my screen. Just on, I'd like to know more about your timeline. Like, obviously, if it all makes sense, like, how soon are you wanting to get something like this started?
See, it
Yeah,
depends on what sort of
ASAP.
infrastructure we're looking at.
Yeah.
Based on infrastructure, we've set up teams for that already. So we would like to kickstart immediately. We have active salespeople as well.
Yeah.
It's just that marketing it and getting it out. So which is where you're coming in.
Yep.
So the infrastructure for everything is already set up. It's just for us to
Perfect.
allocate some of the appointments to that. That's all.
Easy, easy, and we can definitely do that. I'll take you through all that. Like, oh, I'm going to show you the back end system, but like, I want to be very cautious as well. Like, I don't like to bombard you with details. I think details are, not relevant right now. Like, if you're happy with it, we can go ahead on the onboarding call. I can take you through the real nitty-gritty specifics. I'll give you a high-level overview of everything, just because I think like there is so much you can do. Like anything that you can imagine, you can actually do with this software and system. But I am mindful. I don't think it's probably wise to, go through the individual details just yet. But like, look, I'm not going to get you 150 leads or, even 100 leads or 50 BS leads a week, like everything that we do is more about the quality rather than the quantity. And then, the people that aren't qualified and they're not that quality we're looking for, they're going to get nurtured and follow up with, text message sequences and emails as well. So, right, we're going to be scheduling your guys in with pre-vetted, pre-qualified leads, and that's all up to your standards, right? So get us to ask any sort of questions that you'd like. We've got a set, like I can show you an example survey that we get people to fill out. It's a very basic one for most of my clients, just because they do like to have that conversation with them and get specifics, but we can make that survey more specific as well. What the onboarding call is about, right? We all jump on, we go through the specifics on the software system, who's going to have access to what and what permissions everyone's going to have, and what role everyone's sort of playing. But then once that's all sort of done, and we get the budget and all that kind of down pat, we'll start generating the leads. Now, all of this happens from your account and your ads manager on Facebook and Instagram. So you own everything, right? Because the data is super important for long term. So you'll own everything. We'll just get access to that. We'll qualify and vet the leads first. So you're only going to be speaking with people that are looking for an install in the next 30 days, right? Then obviously you'll do the in-home quote. Most people will do an in-home quote. They'll do the home visit, and then obviously you book that job for a new install. Some typical questions, obviously we got name, email, phone number, we got property address, home specs, so how many bedrooms, how many living areas, how many what sort of unit they're looking for, what their budget is, how soon they're looking for an install. Again, if it's under 30 days, you guys will be sent that lead. If it's anything over, it's going to be in a follow-up pipeline nurture sequence that you'll still see, you'll have access to, but you don't need a contact, right? Now, the numbers, this is just like worst case scenario across the board, right? So I'll just take you through the closing rate, because this is typically what changes with my clients, like client to client, right? So I always like to say it's a worst case scenario of 20%, right? A 20% close rate in sales is whatever, it's nothing exciting. It's pretty below average, right? But a lot of the companies I'm working with, like their quote to close ratio is about 35 to 40%, right? Obviously, we'll dial in your numbers over the first sort of 60 days. We'll get a good understanding. But this is what I'm confident in delivering, right? So $15 a lead, $60 per quote. So 100 leads come in, we'll be giving you 25 quotes. So we'll be giving you these 25 people to talk to. The other 75 you won't need to speak with. We'll have filtered them out and followed them up as well, so your sales guys aren't wasting their time. So this is the sort of numbers that you're looking at, just 5 installs a month. A bigger play is, let's say you spend 10K a month on ads, you're looking at about 666 leads, 200 quotes out of that. So your guys will be talking to 200 people. Again, 20% close rate. It should be higher because these quotes, again, they're ready for they're ready for an install in the next 30 days, right? So they're going to go with either you or someone else. So pretty sure your guys can close more. Like, what are you doing on solar? Like, let's compare that. Like, if you're doing 200 estimates, like, what's your sort of close rate?
Our solar is sitting at roughly around our closing rate is quite high. Closing, we are sitting at close to 29 to 30%.
Yeah.
On the conversion. After cancellation, it's around 28, something around that, right?
Yep. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. So, your numbers are going to be obviously higher than this, but this is sort of what you can expect, what you can expect here. As a new lead comes in, right? Obviously, whoever needs to get notified can get notified, but this isn't where you touch them. Once they respond to the first message, they'll go to lead replied, and this is when we send a survey. I can show you an example survey in a second, but it's going to be your name, your logo, your colors, your brand on this survey with all of the questions that we have, right? So you'll get all of those questions answered. Now, as soon as someone submits that survey, it will go to send estimate. This is where your sales guys, Paul, for example, he's the manager, let's say. Paul will get that notification. It'll be, hey, Paul, John Smith is looking for ... and it will have all of his the answers to the survey questions, right? In real time. As soon as it gets submitted, Paul, you'll get that text message and email notification, right? Whoever needs it, we can set that up. From there, obviously, it's up to you guys to call them, do that estimate, do that quote, and then you schedule them in for that in-home quote scheduled, and then everything else is automated, right? This whole process is automated. The only thing that you need to do is, obviously there's no contact here, right? But there's a little button. It'll just say, put in home quote scheduled. That's it. Everything else is automated, right? So like this, for example, it'll be part 1. It'll be in send estimate. It'll take a few seconds to go. Here it is. All you need to do is go in, and if you've scheduled, you go part 2, in home quote scheduled, it's already there, done. Any notes, you can see obviously here, right? And then on the contact as well, like it will pull in the answers to all of their survey, to the survey. Right, it'll pull all the answers down here. Like, obviously the survey is not attached here, but it'll be here. So yeah, obviously you can see that I've just moved it through the pipeline and that, so you can kind of see. But yeah, like you can have 5-star review links. We can mass send that out once a job gets completed, email and text. Your installers, all the conversations are here, emails and text messages, calendars, so we can sync this up to your calendar for the in-home quote scheduled, and the job scheduling can all be done through here as well. Absolutely everything can be done through here. You can send invoices, payments, all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, you can get very, very detailed with what you do, but everything can be run through here. It's all set up and managed by us. That's the only manual thing that we need you to do. That's it. All the sequences, notifications, messages, all of that is built by us.
Okay. Just to summarize, correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna use our Facebook or our social media platform, wherein we have our credentials. You're gonna use that. You will develop the infographics and everything. You market on our behalf.
Yep.
And you keep generating the leads using our account, which is all synced so that we know that it is exclusive only to us. And so that is then monitored, and the flow is all monitored. And then once the lead is all completely qualified and ready to go, that is when we get that, wherein from there, maybe we can use our own call center team to call, schedule appointments, and convert the sale.
Yep, that's it. Exactly.
All right. See, the system's good. We use a similar system. We use Zoho CRM. So for the entire process, which is currently syncing with the same thing, so which is fine. My question is, what sort of lead volumes and what is the current? Because I don't know about the niche situation at the moment. I don't know what's the solar lead situation at the moment, what it's costing per lead on average and stuff. So what sort of average price are we looking at? Because based on that, we need to work out on the budget. What sort of,
Yeah, so an average is about $15, right? So like what I showed you there is like worst case sort of average across the board. So yeah, you're looking at about $15 a lead, about $50-$60 a quote.
Based on what sort of average pricing, that conversion rate we're looking at, like the sales price?
So it's about 10K.
10K. All right. So based on a 10K system, that is the average sort of. And for 10K, what sort of system, when you say 10K, what sort of system are we marketing?
Usually it's or something like that. Your 14 sort of kilowatt system,
Because the reason why I'm asking is I've seen a lot of adverts that's going on, 5,999, 6,999 on Facebook saying niche systems something like that. Is that what we would run something
I
similar?
mean, you
or
can, but like that, like that's a base price, you know, like that's a that's kind
yeah,
of
of
a
course,
base
I'm not
price.
saying that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm asking, is that sort of market? That's how
Oh,
we are
yeah,
running the campaigns.
similar. Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
So, you know, the big difference is the back end system, right? Like anyone can generate leads, but can you actually convert those leads? That's the difference. So yes, like it is something similar to that. I'm someone that doesn't really like to advertise price. You know, like yes, maybe sometimes I'll do.
Of course, we never advertise price.
Yeah, I don't really like to advertise price. You know, it's more about like seeing if people qualify for the VEU program, right? Like, do you have a current system, right? Do you have an existing system? If yes, find out if you qualify, you know, and then we go through that. It's all about just seeing if they qualify, rather than being like, hey, you know, here's
Niche.
a system that we have, you know, starting from X, because you're not just going to sell them one set. Like you can obviously have the conversation, and it's like with solar, right? You don't know exactly what the best the best thing is for them until you have that conversation. So that's like, it's the same thing with this. You won't know until you have that conversation. Like some people, yeah, do the system, and it maybe is about 5 to 6K, but it's a
Niche.
machine, or you know, something like that, right? And look, some people are just all about price, right? Give me the best possible price, and at the end of the day, like it's going to be hard to beat some people with pricing, you know, and I don't think that's the market that you really want to go after.
We already don't target that market in solar,
and that's good.
So we're now not in that market.
Yeah.
So so our market is not going to be the same even for HVAC. So which is why I'm asking. That's one thing. And what sort of other fees and stuff? Okay, so now this is the part that you're going to do. So now what is the sort of remuneration you're looking at for the work that is being done? So what sort of other fees and stuff that is associated for this?
Happy to take you through that. And I want to talk to you more about your sort of, obviously it's a little bit hard, right? But with solar, what sort of net margin are you guys working on?
So I have to speak with my CFO on that, not more into the other side of things. But I can tell you what's the average lead spend, what we do.
Yeah, please.
We're spending, our leads, we're spending roughly about close to $20,000 to $30,000 a week nationally for the lead acquisition. And that is, we would generate close to 200 to 350 leads on average.
So you're spending about 80K a month.
80-ish, yeah.
Divided by, let's say, 250 leads. So it's costing.
No, that's a week. Yeah.
That's a week. Yeah.
No, our average lead sits around. Based on the states, WA is currently sitting around at I think it's around $82 or something.
Yeah, $82. 60 to 80 bucks depending on the state.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Queensland is slightly high. Victoria is a bit less because of volume. So yeah.
Okay, 60 to 80 bucks a lead. What do you sort of convert at? Like those leads turn into, like, how many leads does it take to get a sale?
80 appointments.
Okay.
From 80, we are looking at least 15 to 20% conversion.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sweet. So I think HVAC is going to be cheaper. HVAC is cheaper than those numbers. Even though it is competitive, right? Yes, it is definitely cheaper, especially with the rebates and that. But obviously, it is very competitive. Like you will, and I'm not going to, you know, I'm sure you know this. Sometimes leads will come through and they're just price shopping, right? But we'll be able to qualify that before you even speak to them. We'll know straight away. Like if they're just, you know, if they're looking for the best price, I usually just say, look, maybe we're not the best fit for you. Happy, and I give them a rundown of who we are, what we're about, and that. But it's like, look, man, I'm being honest with you. We're not the cheapest. We're not the most expensive, but we're certainly not going to give you the cheapest possible unit because it's going to have issues in, you know, 6 to 12 months time, right? And I'm always very honest and upfront with people about that. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it is what it is. You know, you don't want those sort of clients. So I totally get it. Now, in terms of how we work, and this is why I was asking more about the margins, because typically how it works, right, is most larger companies, which I would say you're a large company, you're coming into this, you want to do that sort of, you want to get to that 20 jobs a week. You want to, you know, start with that 5 to 10. That's cool. When I'm working with businesses that, you know, are doing those 20 installs a week, they're looking at about a 20% margin, right? So 10K system, 2K.
Of course.
That's kind of what they're looking for. That's kind of what they're looking at. So that's how we base our pricing off, right? What your net profit is. Essentially, we have a one-time 2K setup fee for the whole system that we build out, manage for you, ads, all of that, right? Takes about 6 to 7 business days. Sometimes it's a little bit quicker, but very, very quick turnaround time. That's it. There's no monthly fees. You just cover ad spend. Now, we can either take 10% of net profit or $150 per
niche
job, because obviously the net profit is going to change job to job, right? And most businesses don't want to work that out individually. I mean, some do. Some want to calculate every single dollar and cent, and that's fine, you know. But I always give you guys the option. You can choose the 10% net profit per job, or just a flat $150. So
Right.
super simple.
Okay, that's something I'll discuss with the finance team and see, you know, where that is. I'll be very open. This is something that we're venturing new. I mean, like we haven't done
niche
before. We have done, but it has nothing related to what we are
currently
going to do.
Yeah.
Like, and we are partnered up with someone who's on board, who's going to do supply and install for us.
Yeah.
So we're literally using our brand image.
Yep.
And being a sales friend for some other company. But eventually we would like to bring our own, you know.
Of course. Yeah.
And I'll get my guys license, takes probably just a week to get it licensed. Yeah. So I have an in-house team which could, you know, do the thing later on. I want to get to that stage. So which is what we are planning at. See, hopefully this model works, and this is where we're going at. So to be honest, our margin at the beginning is going to be very less. I'll be very open. We are aiming to make at least just $1,000 on that.
Okay, so then our margin would change, right? So based on, like, I've got a client that has the exact same margin. We're at $90 per install, right? We're at
so we'll definitely work on this. As I said, as we, you know, bring it. You would know the performance, obviously. As we grow it, obviously, we can work out some better terms. But this is something we will discuss again. We will definitely have a meeting again with the CFO once, you know, it's all.
Of course. And I'm going to send you the link to this call as well. So, you know, we can forward that on,
Yeah, I'll definitely have a word with him. So sounds interesting. But see, if this goes well, I'll tell you one more thing. If this plan executes well in marketing strategy of, would you be keen in doing the marketing for solar as well?
Definitely. Yeah, of course. So
we have been actively looking for someone to partner up with marketing. We do, even for this one, I already have an entire web page and stuff, you know, the Facebook and social platforms on which we're going to market it. That would have the solar banner anyway. So which is what we're going to promote using for HVAC as well. So if this is being providing to be successful and is coming within the budget, because we've been for now, you know, looking for alternate options for lead generation for quite a while now. And if this is something you would be interested in, this works out well, I think we'll be more leaning into even solar lead generation as well.
Definitely. And I'll just tell you straight out with that, all we'd need to do, we wouldn't even need to do a setup. Like, I could just manage it for you, and I'm happy to work for free. And I just take a percentage of per install that you do. Right. If you just like spend obviously what you're spending, I can help manage that and run that. I'll just take a percentage of the.
It's mainly the lead cost we are worried about, because currently we have 2-3 suppliers who are still using the same sort of method. You know, we have our Amex card that is running on their campaigns instead of my page. That's all. So it's all the same. So pretty much the structure is all the same. So we're working on lead cost. If you think that you could better get the leads in a much better, pricing for us, even $30, $40 or $20 saving is a massive saving for us.
Yeah, huge, because you're spending like 80,000, so it's a lot. Can I ask, how do you pay these other channels? Because I assumed you had someone in-house running it through your accounts, everything.
We do have one team, and the majority of the leads currently does come from suppliers sources as well. Same, they have their own social platforms. We give our Amex, they run the campaigns on our pricing, so the leads are paid for, and then they charge a bit of admin fee for the number of leads. A few suppliers, they just charge, this is the total number of leads, this is the total admin fee for that.
Right. Okay.
So all works out the same, whether you add a percentage on the net sales or the conversion, doesn't matter. Ultimately, we need 200. We have two teams. We need 200 per team. That's it. 200 leads per week per team.
Got you.
For us to get that conversion rate. So that's all we are investing on. And if we could generate that, and if you are okay with just taking a cut on the sale number, which is something I'll be happy to discuss on as well.
Yeah, I'm more than happy for that. Yeah, that's fine. Because I'll be honest, and that's why I used to do the monthly retainer model, but when you work on this model, number one, companies like yourself prefer it, right? Because it's less risk on you guys up front, right? That's number one. Plus, number two, on my side, if I'm confident, I make more money doing it.
Exactly. You're confident enough that you're taking it only after we make the sale. So I can guarantee you we can make the sale. There's no problem with that. So that's not a problem.
Exactly. And that's why I've got the same model for niche, right? Like the setup cost, the setup cost aside, $2,000, who really cares about that, right? At the end of the day, it's irrelevant. That's just for me to get commitment from you. That's really all that is, and just the time it takes to cover my costs, right? I don't make money on that, right? I'm break even on upfronts. I only make money like on the sales, and that's how it should be, right? Because in 12 months' time, generated you $3, $4, $5 million, then I've made 80K or something from it, whatever the maths works out. Everyone's happy, So that's like, I think that's.
I mean, it is definitely a great model. I'll definitely say. I mean, more companies would be leaning towards this, honestly, because you're giving us confidence that your leads will sell. That itself is a seller, and as long as we have a top gun of a sales team, we shouldn't have a problem selling.
Exactly right. So Guru, tell me, obviously it makes sense to you. It seems like you understand everything. What's the next step for you guys here? You need to obviously speak to someone.
I need to speak to my CFO. So above me, there's a managing director and the CFO. Mm-hmm. I'm third in line. So I need to discuss with the main people, who's the money man and the guy who's going to work out the returns. So I'll have to sit down with them and show this model, that this is a different model. This is low risk model for us, but if it clicks, it's going to work out. So obviously they lean towards trying out for in the beginning. As I said, the model is successful. I don't see a problem why they wouldn't try this for so long.
Okay.
So I would say thank you, Paul, to introduce the story. It's a different, it's a different altogether, which is what we've been looking for months now.
Right. Okay. So this is what you're looking for then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
So which is a great start. So let me, have a word with the people. Give me about 1 to 2 weeks. People are traveling around. So you should hear from me soon.
Yeah, that's fine. Paul, did you have any sort of questions on anything?
No, look, the main consideration I had after our chat last night, I was just confused in regards to the final costings for us. So we've been able to go through a couple on that, which is good. I just think the other thing from my point of view is that I'll be just annoying the hell out of Guru to make sure that it doesn't blow out to 2 weeks, and we'll be back in contact with you next week. So.
And I'll be hounding you, Paul. So it's in effect.
I like it. Sounds good.
Look, I respect you guys are a bigger company. You've got people that you need to speak to, but I'm someone that likes to move quick, you know, like if it makes sense, just let me know. Let's go. If it doesn't, just shoot me a text. That's totally fine. Like it can be set up within about six business days, very quick turnaround time, very smooth onboarding process. Once I get the go ahead, invoice is sent, that's paid, send you a link, takes about 5 minutes to get you onboarded. It is super, super quick. We set up another call to go through the details and we get moving.
Cool. Sounds good. I like it.
All good.
Sweet. Fantastic. I'll also send both of you this call recording as well.
Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Cody. Thanks so much for your time.
You too.
Thank you very much, mate. You have a good day.
Thanks, Paul. You too. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
So just wrapped up that call with a particular client. I hope you guys enjoyed that. They did end up coming through about 3 days. After this call, I'll put the Stripe payment up here somewhere in this video so you can see that it's legit, and the ad campaigns are going really, really well. So I'll keep you guys updated there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.